Fox News Radio is joining us right now. John, how are you, my friend?
Hey, I am well, Mark. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, thank you. So I listened to Reince Priebus this weekend on with Chris Wallace. That was an interesting exchange. But Reince did spend some of his time on his talking points of what all this administration has accomplished in 4 weeks. What's your take on that?
Well, I think it's mixed, and 4 weeks isn't, I think, a long enough period to judge how an administration is doing. I think it's understandable why the administration is putting out, these talking points of how much they've accomplished in the past 4 weeks. And I think the biggest accomplishment so far is something that's really unprecedented, and that's nominating an individual to fill a vacant seat on the U.S. Supreme Court within 1 month of taking office. And that person who President Trump nominated, Neil Gorsuch, is being hailed by conservatives in the Republican Party. Members of the Senate love this guy, and I think he's headed for near certain confirmation.
Yeah, I was trying to think, when is the last time a president took office with a vacancy in the Supreme Court? I'm probably asking you a trivia question off here, but I mean, I can't remember the last time that happened.
That's why I called it unprecedented.
Yeah,
it's pretty remarkable to be able to do that. Upon taking office within literally 3 weeks after you're sworn in, to put forward your nominee for the U.S. Supreme Court. That's pretty remarkable, and I think it's a nominee that the president and his team spent a lot of time considering, and that's why I think that the launch of this process went so smoothly.
I listened to some of the talking heads this weekend on CNN complaining that although the administration's claimed to have accomplished a lot of it are executive orders, which were the exact same thing the president was so critical of Barack Obama for, although I think, honestly, a lot of what he's done is reversed some of those executive orders, other than this travel ban situation.
Well, the travel ban, I think, sticks out because that's the one executive order that has been blocked by a federal court from taking effect. The other executive orders and executive actions that the president signed in his first 4 weeks are largely symbolic in nature. And I think that, I understand why he did some of those things. But I think a real thing that the president did is he pulled the U.S. out of the Trans-Pacific Partnership trade deal, something the president promised he would do upon taking office. And that's obviously an important thing for his base, which is troubled by a lot of these trade deals that they believe are unfair to American workers. But, look, this is a work in progress. At the same time, the president had to fire his national security advisor in his first month. That also is unprecedented. So he's looking for a replacement there. And Senate Democrats continue blocking the president from filling all of the spaces in his cabinet. They still don't have all of those confirmation hearings, already done and have the president's team in place. So that's going to take maybe a few more weeks before that happens. But soon enough, the president will have his team, and he can move forward on some of the things that he wants to do in this first year, including tax reform and starting the process of repealing and replacing Obamacare.
Because you're on scene there in D.C., have they talked about when we'll see this new executive order on travel? We're expecting it today?
Well, I'm at the White House today. The president is not. He's still in his second home in Palm Beach, Florida. He's coming back this evening. I think that we're likely to see the unveiling of this executive order perhaps as early as tomorrow. The president, in his press conference last week, promised that he would unveil his executive order this week, and my guess is it may come as early as Tuesday.
With the big differences being the green cards and people with pre-approved visas wouldn't be affected, right?
That's exactly right. Mm-hmm. So there are some problems that were associated with the first executive order. They believe that the second one essentially solves those problems. It exempts green card holders. Travelers who already have a visa to travel to the U.S. would also be exempted under the president's revised immigration ban. But, it's still like the first one. It targets those same 7 countries listed in his original executive order. And we're talking about Iran and Iraq, Syria, Yemen, Somalia, Sudan, and Libya. They're still in place under the newly constructed executive order.
Very good. Listen, Jon Decker, I appreciate the information. Always great talking to you.
You too, Mark. Have a great day.
Have a great